So that show, Son of a Critch, which is on CBC. Tim, you're the exec producer on the show. What's your
Mark and I created it together, and exec producer, writer, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So Tim McAuliffe, our guest, is in town for Just for Laughs. You're doing a panel coming up tomorrow afternoon with people from the show, and it's open to the public, which is kind of cool. So if you're a fan of the show, you get to come meet some of the cast, ask some questions. That's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Malcolm McDowell is one of our key cast members.
Stop. What the hell is Malcolm McDowell doing in a Canadian show produced
This makes
here?
no sense to me.
I know. He did say this morning, he's like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. But I don't believe that at all. He read the scripts and he read Mark's book, and he really, truly seemed dug it. And he came out last year. We were so surprised that he did because, he's Malcolm McDowell. And he came out, and it was this wonderful thing where he's older but young at heart, really is truly. And the sort of character that our main star is playing, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, is Mark Critch as a young man who is young but old at heart. So they kind of meet in the middle, and they become these great friends. And it's kind of really nice, and it actually worked out very well. They just built a relationship, just off the camera as well, and they just became very good friends. And so I think it just sort of worked, and Malcolm just sort of fit perfectly, and I think he saw that when he read the stuff, and he could do that.
And the show has kind of taken off, right? I read this become one of the most successful shows ever.
In Canada, for at least, it's been really great, and people seem to be responding really well to it, and it's really kind of exciting because it's very specific in its tone. The idea is Mark grew up at a radio station. Basically, his father was the newsman, and he was actually in a house that was attached to the radio station. And so basically he just knew the industry the whole time. And so it's kind of one of those ones where it's like the stories are not something you can relate to necessarily, in that no one really grows up in a radio station. But everyone gets it. And
so I want to go back and talk about the fact, because we're going to run out of time, and I want to get this whole story in. It's not every day you get to meet someone local who's gone on to incredible success in the business. You're from here. You were telling us you grew up in Point Claire.
I grew up in Point Claire, and I used to work at CJAD. And so
Hold on. He used to work at CJAD, and now he's a big shot Hollywood kind of guy. So you see, there's a future.
On the show. There's radio in the show.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, so, this is material for you right now, right?
Right, it totally is. But the one thing I need to get out is that, Aaron, you were a real comedy influence for me. And with the straight man stuff you did with Tasso was really, I'd tape it off the radio all the time. And this is not a lie. Pete can tell you this. Nice. I really am like a huge fan. So it's kind of really wonderful to be here.
It's illegal to have done that, right?
And I would sell it too, which is weird. That's how I actually made a lot of money.
You better hand over those tapes right now. That's all I'm saying.
That's an awfully nice thing to say, and I appreciate that. And I could not be, we were talking about this before, could not be happier for you for your success. I mean, I was looking down a list of stuff you have worked on, TV shows that people will know, for Netflix, for networks, for it's amazing. I mean,
I know.
Could you ever have imagined you would be this successful? Which is maybe a weird question to ask, but
I didn't. Well, I just loved writing and that sort of thing, and so I actually ended up writing in Canada, and then for 22 Minutes, and then for Corner Gas, and then I went on a time off to New York, and I just moved in with my friend Nathan Fielder, who's got his own show there on HBO right now. But we didn't have any representation or anything like that, and I just made a fake Facebook page with jokes on it and sketch ideas, and I dropped it off at the courier desk at 30 Rock in the lobby for Jimmy Fallon.
No, you didn't.
And the next day they called me up. The head writer had me in. The next day after that, I went in, we talked for an hour, and then he's like, let's get Jimmy in here. We talked for an hour, and they said, right when I was walking home, like walking back through Manhattan, they called and said, "Oh, you know what? We'll sponsor your visa, and can you start on Monday?"
Okay, your life is now. You have to make a show or a movie out of your life, right, Tim? You get that?
That's pitching it to Mark, but he's still into.
So
this
you
one.
Got a job writing for Fallon on the late night show?
Yeah.
Just for having walked in and dropped your
it off for Jimmy at the courier desk with no manager. And so
that's amazing.
That's
so then I started that, and then I moved to LA from there, and
Can you tell? And I'm not sure I got this story right. Did you at one point decide you'd had enough of writing and decide you wanted to do a movie or something, or write a movie? Was that you?
Oh,
you ever tried to?
Well, I'm starting to do that now. It's funny. Yeah, I've just been doing that more recently, but I made one movie with that Nathan in Washington D.C. in 2008, but it was more of a sort of a hybrid reality sort of narrative sort of thing. But I'm really wanting to do that now. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because that's the sort of progression, isn't it? You're writing for TV, the next thing you know, you want to be a movie, and then you want to direct, and then we can't talk to you anymore.
Exactly.
Point,
right? Yeah.
So this is it. We better just savor every moment here that we've got. This is all we're getting. And Aaron still wants those tapes back. But you're like you're like the Malcolm McDowell of writing, basically, right?
Yes,
so you've gotten yourself to this kind of level, which is, I mean, you're doing Montreal so proud. The panel discussion, when people come, is it like do they participate? Is it stilted? Is it?
I think it would. We've never done one of these, but I think the idea would be that we're going to be interviewed a little bit just to discuss the show, and then I think fans or whoever wants to come and watch will be able to ask questions. And
I feel like people are going to show up and pitch you ideas, and I feel like I should warn you that is on Aaron's list today. He's like, I've got a great idea. I got a pitch to Tim.
But I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to stop by your hotel and leave it with the courier and then I'll get to you and see how that works out. So
he's got to get the fake Facebook page going first.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I ask you? So you're doing Son of a Critch. You're obviously involved in a lot of other projects. Like, what's next? How far ahead do you plan? Like, what other shows are you working on?
Oh, I mean, I guess I just worked on with Will Forte from Saturday Night Live a show called MacGruber, which was based on his sketch on the show and in the movie. Yeah. And it became this huge cult sort of hit. The movie, sorry, and then we made a show for Peacock. And then I'm just we're sort of in between seasons on that, and then we're in between seasons on this show called Players, which was for Paramount Plus, and it's a mock documentary, sort of a la Spinal Tap, about esports, which I knew nothing about, and League of Legends, which is a game that if you go to the Staples Center or to the Bell Center here, 20,000 people will go watch these kids play video games on stage. Yeah. And so we did, that's aired, just came out yesterday, the last episode. So sort of in the middle of different seasons.
You're a pretty
on
busy
shows.
Guy.
Yeah.
You're writing all the time, doing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
What can I ask as well? Because we talked about this a lot. Veep used to be my favorite show on TV, right? With Julia Louis-Dreyfus. And we met, I think it was David Mandel, who was the showrunner, right? Yeah. What does a showrunner do? Because that title seems to be relatively new in the world of Hollywood, showrunner. What do you do on that?
You run the show?
Well, you do. I think you write and you manage sort of the scripts and that sort of thing. It's more, I would say it still remains relatively creative. But you also deal with, a lot of different things, picking out sets and location scouting and that sort of thing. Huh. So it's a more macro sort of overview of the creative process. It is. Yeah, exactly. And so you spend a lot of time. You also deal with, human resources things and stuff like that too. So there's elements of that where you're spending time making sure everyone's happy.
Would you like to not do that part? Like,
I've always said that. Yeah, it is nice to write. Yeah.
Yeah. And what's left on your, like, when you've done so much as you have and you've written so much and you're talking about doing a movie, what's left on your list? Like, what's your next dream gig?
I would say a movie would be really great. I'd love to. I once moved to Paris right after a season of some show, and I sat down on the Seine, and I was reading.
That's what I was alluding to. That was what you were on, yeah.
And I said to try to write a movie, and I had like a bottle of wine, and I probably was wearing a beret that said Paris.
Don't forget the loaf of bread.
Yeah, exactly. Out of a bag, like a paper bag, and then I looked at myself, and I was like, "What the hell am I doing? Like, this is ridiculous." And so I ended up moving to New York, where I started working on Fallon. But it's one of those ones where it's like, I'd love to really, truly do that and not in the pretentious way. So,
by the way, for people, I mean, we mentioned some of the shows. You worked on The Office as well, one of the most successful sitcoms of all time.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that was,
what was that like?
A dream come true. Very weird to be, because the actual outside of the office is the parking lot for the office that you see in the show. So your parking spot was where Jim would park and that sort of thing. Yeah. So you would go in and then we'd write in, and there was an office that was Michael Scott's office in the actual writer's room area, which we replicated on the stage. So you'd write and you'd just be in that office. It would be very strange. And then, of course, working with all those people is amazing. So
pretty amazing cast.
Yeah.
We're going to run out of time. I've always wanted to ask, so you've worked on so many different shows. Son of a Critch, as I said, doing so well now. For you, what's one of your favorite shows, not that you've worked on, but that you watch on TV that you think is absolutely great?
Oh, I mean, Veep was very high on my list there as well. And I do love, Alan Partridge, a lot of British shows, which makes me sound pretentious, but I
Where's
really,
the beret?
yeah, exactly. But I've really just, I love This Country is a British show on the BBC that I've just really just fallen in love with. But if you have a chance,
and those things a lot of times get adapted and they end up here. I mean,
so they tried
sure why
to.
that happens,
there's actually a show called Welcome to Flatch on Fox right now that is an adaptation of This Country. Yeah. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I wish we had more time. We don't. I want to thank you so much for coming in. It's really a pleasure meeting you. And by the way, thank you for the nice things you said. That means an awful lot to me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
And by now having said that, I will pitch an idea that I have.
I told you. I warned you. You thought I was kidding. I wasn't kidding.
No,
I'll do it off air. I'll do it off air. By the way, I should let you know, we knew we had a serious guest coming in. We brought snacks.
Oh, perfect.
So
Pringles
you can
and
have
Pop-Tarts.
The Pringles or the Pop-Tarts. Both of those are available to you. All right?
Free of charge.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is great.
Well, not the whole package.
Oh, gotcha. Actually, this cookie dough one looks pretty good. Yeah.
And by pretty good, it's about the worst thing you could eat. But enjoy that. So, Tim, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Montreal's own Tim McAuliffe. And that if you're a fan of Son of a Critch, tomorrow, you said
Saturday.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
At noon.
Right.
Tomorrow is
at
Saturday.
noon at the Doubletree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get tickets at hahaha.com. I mean, it's open to the public. You just got to make sure you
get a
reserve in
ticket.
advance. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Great
so much.
meeting you.